The forest was silent that night, unnaturally so. Mia tightened her grip on the flashlight, its narrow beam cutting through the fog that clung to the air like a shroud. She regretted venturing this far, but her dog, Baxter, had darted off into the woods chasing something, and she couldn't just leave him. "Baxter!" she called, her voice echoing weakly against the towering trees. Only silence answered her. She pressed on, each crunch of leaves underfoot amplifying the unease curling in her chest. The fog thickened, swallowing the world around her until even the trees became hazy silhouettes. That's when she heard it, a faint whimper. "Baxter," she called again, her voice trembling. She followed the sound, heart pounding harder with every step. The whimper grew louder, leading her to a small clearing. In the center was Baxter, sitting unnaturally still, his back to her. Relief washed over Mia, and she hurried toward him. But as she got closer, she froze. Baxter's fur was matted with dirt, and his head tilted at an unnatural angle, as if listening to something only he could hear. His tail didn't wag, his ears didn't twitch. It wasn't right. "Baxter," she whispered, fear gnawing at her insides. Slowly he turned his head to face her. His eyes, those weren't Baxter's eyes. They were too dark, too human. Mia stumbled backward as the thing wearing her dog's face rose on legs that twisted and cracked like splintering wood. It was too tall, too wrong. A low growl rumbled from its throat, but the sound was layered. Deep, guttural snarl tangled with something that almost sounded like laughter. "Run," it said, the voice dripping with malice. Mia didn't need to be told twice. She turned and sprinted, the flashlight bouncing wildly in her hand, the beam slicing through the suffocating fog. Behind her, the thing gave chase, its footsteps echoing hers, impossibly fast, impossibly close. The forest seemed to close in, branches clawing at her face and arms. She could hear it gaining on her, that horrible laughter growing louder, sharper, until it was all around her. Finally, the trees broke, and she burst onto the road. A car screeched to a halt, its headlights illuminating her terrified face. She turned to look behind her. Nothing. Just the quiet, foggy forest. The driver rolled down his window, concern etched on his face. "Are you okay?" Mia tried to answer, but the words caught in her throat. Instead, she nodded and climbed into the car, trembling. As the car pulled away, she glanced back one last time. In the rearview mirror, just beyond the trees, two dark, human-like eyes stared after her, unblinking. And then, they vanished into the fog.